Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another Spooktober episode of We Watch Shudder. I am one of your hosty hosts. My name is JD, and who is our other hosty host?
It's Michelle. I'm the other hosty host.
Yay! Here's the thing that
Yay.
it just now occurred to me: why aren't we co-ghosts?
Oh.
I know.
Well,
right?
I guess that's a thing
It's
now.
It's way too late for us to start now.
We still got 10 episodes to be co-ghosts.
co-ghosts throughout all of
Co-ghosts.
Spooktober. Michelle, tell these people what we're doing this month, if they just happen to be tuning in randomly here for the first time.
Yeah, in case they're Slaxx super fans, and so they started with this episode. Because we watch Shudder here at We Watch Shudder, we decided to watch some extra Shudder for October. So we got extra Shuddery with it and shuddered super hard and put out a Shudder episode every day in Shuddertober.
Yeah, I think that basically gets the point across.
I mean, if they're starting with this episode, it's kind of their own fault if they don't know what's going on.
No, you're right. Yeah. So yeah, we watch original and exclusive movies on Shudder, and the one we're talking about today happens to be Slaxx, as Michelle mentioned earlier. Michelle, had you seen Slaxx before we watched it for this episode?
I had.
Okay, yeah. So had I. I had seen this one once previously, so I was going back to catch up with it again. Like we do, I will read you the summary of the movie right directly from the Shudder website. It says, Slaxx, directed by Elza Kephart, a possessed pair of jeans is brought to life to punish the unscrupulous practices of a trendy clothing company. Shipped to the company's flagship store, Slaxx proceeds to wreak carnage on staff locked in overnight, to set up the new collection. A Shudder original. Michelle. Spoiler-free thoughts on Slaxx.
Okay, so Slaxx is about a pair of evil jeans, which sounds hilarious, and it sometimes is hilarious, but sometimes it's just really sad. And that's a lot like me. And this movie is like me, and I think that I am a 4.5 skull out of 5 person. So just like this movie, I will give it a 4.5 out of 5 skulls for being equally funny and sad because I relate to that.
Okay, yeah, I was kind of worried there for a minute. I wasn't exactly sure where that was going. I was like, oh man, no, I really
just like this movie, it surprises you.
I really dig this movie. It's a lot of fun. It's silly and ridiculous. There are a couple of minor gripes I have with it, things I would have done differently that I because, I'm an armchair writer-director who thinks he knows better than people who actually make movies how to make movies. So, things I would have done differently here. But overall, I really enjoyed this. I thought it managed to be a lot of fun and still have some interesting things to say without really beating you over the head with it. And yeah, I had a good time with this one. I'm going to go 4 skulls on Slaxx. 4 skulls.
Nice. I was not sure how you were going to feel about this one.
Yeah,
so that's surprising to me.
I really enjoyed Slaxx. So that gives us, what, a 4.25 skull average?
4.25 skulls out of 5 for Slaxx.
Right on, guys. Michelle, what do we do next here? Send these people to their business.
Oh, well, next we're going to talk about some spoilery things from this movie. So if you don't want to get spoiled, you should run away. Run away in terror and then return after you've seen the movie. After you watch the movie, come back and hear what we have to say about it because we're pretentious and we have lots of thoughts.
Oh, we do. We think so much and we talk just as much, if not more.
We do. So if you don't want to get spoiled, pause right here. Okay, go. So I have to say, starting off, that I really like how this nails the hellish nightmare that is retail, because I worked for a retail underwear brand, and I can't say which one it was, but it is a secret, and it is very much like this.
Right.
Those concrete hallways haunt me.
Specifically, I think that that corporate mall fashion retail, right?
Oh my god! Yeah.
It's, I have never, of course, myself worked in that industry because that's they're just never gonna hire me. But I've been around it. I know what it's like, and oh man, yeah. On the surface, on that level, this movie is a perfect depiction of retail hell.
Yeah, the fluorescent lighting, it nails it immediately, and then you know you're in for
Oh
a
yeah,
good movie.
yeah.
Oh, I have been saying how's your ecosystem for a while now too, because I love that. How's your ecosystem? My ecosystem will be seriously disturbed if I have to go find her.
Yeah,
So I love that.
Yep.
I love the personality of the pants. How you can tell when they're smiling.
Yes, the pants basically have a face.
Yeah, I love it. Did
That's
you watch
actually
the?
That's gonna play into
Oh.
one of my complaints a little bit later on. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, my last quick one was: did you watch the bonus scene during the credits?
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's so good. Okay. Now your complaints and your thoughts about
Yeah,
it.
no,
got through my
I
shallow
agree with-
ideas.
I agree with everything you had to say there. I think this is, like I said, an awesome depiction of existence in retail hell, and those elements of like corporate mumbo jumbo speak. You know, just really.
Having to
oh,
meet the quotas
How's
at
your-
any
how's
cost.
Your ecosystem, you know.
Oh my
let's
God!
Make a better
Yeah.
tomorrow today.
You have to
and-
wear our branded items, and our branded items are $175 each.
Right, yeah, and you have a minimum amount, like you have a minimum employee spend on a monthly basis. You have to be continuously refreshing your wardrobe. Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
those elements. I feel like all of the individual characters here. This is a very archetypal movie, right? Like they all fit a very specific type. You know, there's the super fashionista ego trip girl, and there's the I've been here for 25 years and I'm really over it girl, and there's the
Yep.
way too uptight dude who's just not interested in dealing with anybody. It's really, really great depictions there. I thought the humor was really good. The one thing I mentioned that there is one thing about this. So obviously, like you've seen the movie by now, or maybe you haven't.
I have.
These pants come to life and start killing people, and of course we find out it's because these pants are actually made in terribly unsafe, awful conditions. And a young girl who worked in the cotton fields picking cotton to make these pants died in what I have to point out to you, certainly not a graphic sequence. This one happens very much in your own brain. But holy shit, that machine that she supposedly fell into, oh God, like that just looked like, even though that, like, this is, again, it's one of those where you make all the awful parts in your own head, and man, did I ever. That thing looked fucking awful.
I have seen that happen on Reddit, and it is as awful as you.
God.
I have seen so many people die on that website. So when that happened, I went, "Oh, I've seen this happen. That's
God.
awful."
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was, I really like. I thought the splatter was really fun, you know, in that very comedy splatter way.
Yes, I love the gore, and I hate gore, and I love the gore in this movie.
I loved how they animated the pants. Like, just like there's just a pair of pants walking around and killing people.
The pants dancing just delights me to my core.
Yeah, or when the pants, like they just like tie around that social media chick's neck.
Yep.
Like just start hanging her. Oh God, like the pants have so much personality in this movie, and they're so absurd and ridiculous. And that does bring me to the one thing. So there's the big crucial sequence, right, where the new girl at the store and the been there way too long girl, who turns out to be super cool and dealable, they figure out that there's something going on with these pants, and they figure out that they can communicate with them. And I don't have a problem with that. So the pants are walking around with like half a mannequin in them, and then they use like a mannequin hand to write on the wall in I forget what the language is. They name it in the movie.
I believe it was Hindi is what she says she speaks.
Yeah, and so she's writing on the wall, and I really wish that at that point they had just gone the full 9 and just had the pants bend over and start talking. Because that would have been the epitome of ridiculous at that point. Like the pants, like you said, they had personality. They had a face, like they bend forward, and the ass pockets are the eyes, and the big opening is the mouth. Like I really wanted the pants to just bend over and start talking at that point. I thought it would have been super hilarious and ridiculous and fun. But no, overall, this was great. When it does have something to say, it gets to it and makes it very clear, but it doesn't harp on it really severely. You know, it's just the idea that there's all these big corporate entities that they claim a lot of things, and the truth may not be exactly the same. And the ending is kind of nihilistic, but also I feel appropriate for a movie like this.
Yeah, I knew what was coming this time, obviously, because I've seen it. But the first time I watched it, I was having just this fun time, and I thought it was hilarious and just a ridiculous movie. And then that ending happened, and I just felt so much worse about it than if this had not been a comedic film, where I felt terrible for like a little bit. It really hit me very hard the first time I saw this, where when
all the people got slaughtered.
Yeah, but it was because these pants were rising up. You know, it actually hit me a little bit more than I think it would have if this wasn't a comedy horror. If this was a straight horror with a nihilistic approach. But I think it just like socks you so hard with reality.
Just a little too bleak, just out of nowhere.
Yeah, of just this little girl was killed, and now there's multiple pants, so of course you have to assume a lot of children were killed to make all the other pants rise up too, and it gets really, really bleak really quickly.
That's interesting, because I got to be honest with you, I didn't make that connection at all, right? But now that you mention it, that does make a lot of sense. I guess I just read it as all of these pants were made with the tainted cotton from where that girl died. Oh shit, no, now that you mention it like that, I hadn't really considered that angle on it. And
it's possible I'm wrong, but that's how I read it as, and it just
that's
hit
interesting.
me.
No, and I guess I was talking more because I was like, and I thought what you meant when you said the ending was bleak, is I was just like, oh man, all these rabid consumerist assholes come running into the store and they all get eaten alive by possessed genes. That's fucking rad. Like,
I didn't mind that. It was the reality of how many possessed genes there were. Yeah. I read that as there were a lot of children who died.
And as soon as you explain that context, I totally understand where you're coming from now. But no, that's real interesting. That's an insight that I hadn't thought of. And now there's that's a whole nother level going on here. Which actually
now I'm curious if that's intentional or if maybe I read too far into it, but my intention or my interpretation made me feel worse, so I like that.
Well, I tell you what,
like the one that makes me feel bad.
Elza Kephart, you're out there somewhere, right? You listen to our show. You directed this movie. Obviously, you listen to what we do. Shoot us a message on Facebook or Instagram. Let us know. Was this just supposed to be a bunch of pants possessed by the same person, or was this a gigantic tragedy of sweatshop lost lives? Because, man, that does... God, now that I'm just sitting here kind of rolling that over in my head while I'm trying to record a podcast episode, and I'm like, man, there might have been even more depth to this than I was thinking in the first place.
I love this because you're usually the one who finds more depth in things, and I'm just like, that's cool or that's not cool. But this one, it hit me pretty hard.
No, that's a really interesting interpretation, and I like that a lot. Mm-hmm. Again, I thought all of the performances here were really solid. Even the mid credits sequence at the end there, where I thought that was perfectly done because I had completely forgotten that dude existed. Right? From the moment she sends, he is in one scene and Hunter sends him away, and we never see him again, and I never even thought of him again. And to the extent that I had to pause for a minute and think, wait, who was that supposed to be? And then it hit me. It's like, oh, that's the dude that Hunter sent away way back at the beginning. of the movie. Yeah, that was I thought that was super hilarious, and also like, holy shit, what's that poor guy about to walk in on? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think this is just a solid movie. I was curious because I had already seen it, so I went to look at people's reviews, and it seems people really like this movie unless they hate the message and they think it's too much.
Oh,
that seems to be the dividing line.
They think it's woke.
Yeah, that seems to be a lot of people are, this is a fun comedy. This is a fun comedy with a message. This is just ridiculous. And other people are either mad that it is not enough horror, which usually I would agree with, but definitely not in this case.
Horror movies, they've certainly never tried to offer any kind of social commentary whatsoever in the history of the format ever. No, that's
and
not
I also
a thing
feel
that
this
ever happens.
This isn't a very heavy message.
Right.
It's not a super saturated movie. It's a movie about an evil pair of pants. And yeah, it says child labor is wrong, and you think that is too heavy of a message.
Yeah. The message here is giant corporations do awful things and exploit people in less fortunate cultures. And I mean, if you want to be a dude who's opposed to that, I guess that's That's you wanna die on that pair of pants, you go right ahead, man.
We'll cut you no slacks.
Oh shit! I'm so mad that you got to that before I did. Oh my god!
I know.
Perfect.
I know. It's great.
Bonus, guys, this movie is only 77 minutes long. It's a quick and easy watch. It gets in there. It gets it done. It gets out. Mm-hmm. It does. It's lean. There's not any nothing extraneous. Just easy watch, a lot of fun. I definitely suggest you check this one out.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I was just very surprised by the people who thought the message was too heavy when I did not think it was. It's barely mentioned. The ending is just a little heavy, but I mean, it's kind of just a plot point before that. So.
Giant evil corporations doing bad things. That's never been a theme in horror movies before. Return of the Living Dead. Come on, guys. Who are you people? Wait, I don't get it. I
don't either.
Go see Slaxx, guys. This is a fantastic movie. It's really, really rad, and I think you will enjoy it.
I agree. Yeah, I just think this is really fun. It is a very quick movie. It's really funny, and it's very gory, and I mean, not scary, but it's a good, solid horror film, too.
When the pants are drinking the blood off the floor, oh my God, that's the most, and they're like sliding through it like a squeegee vacuum, like a wet vac, just... That's a horrible sound. I'll never do that again. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
No more squelching. I'm done with squelching ever since Mad God. That had too much squelching.
There was a lot of squelching in that.
So much squelching in Mad God.
A lot of squelching in Slaxx, too. All right, guys. I think that's pretty clear. We both really, really enjoyed this movie, and we think you will, too. You got anything else to add, Michelle?
No, I think we summed it up. This is just a really fun movie.
Awesome.
Check it out.
Awesome.
Evil Pants.
Well,
do it.
Say good night, Michelle.
Good night, Michelle.